So today we're going to talk about the graveyard of the Atlantic, located the Cape Hatteras National Seashore in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, just south of the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, and very close to the ferry that you take to get across to Ocracoke Island from Cape Hatteras. The museum is open Monday through Friday. The hours of operation are 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. or 1600. So 10 a.m. until 1600, Monday through Friday, are the operational hours of this museum. In the museum, they talk about the graveyard of the Atlantic, why it's called that, because of the numerous, countless shipwrecks throughout the years that have happened in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, pretty much from the Virginia coast, really, on down to Cape Hatteras and beyond. It's a very dangerous waterway for civilians and military, especially back in the day, and they talk about that history of just life here in and around the graveyard of the Atlantic. Lots of artifacts are inside, from small cannon, for example, other tools that were used for nautical trades, models of naval and coast guard vessels and their various stories, and stories about great ships, steel ships, wooden ships, all kinds of vessels that have fallen victim to the graveyard of the Atlantic, including German U-boat activity off the Carolina and Virginia coast in World War II. They also have videos that they play, exhibits, some interactive types of displays. It's not a very big museum, but it's packed with a lot of information that I think you'll find interesting. There's the cannon I mentioned earlier, small cannon. Various other artifacts, U.S. Life-Saving Service uniforms, other military uniforms. Of course, the U.S. Life-Saving Service, the predecessor of the U.S. Coast Guard. Of course, they talk a lot about the Pea Island rescuers, Pea Island Life-Saving Station, the all African-American run life-saving station that used to exist on Pea Island, and especially about Captain Etheridge, who ran that life-saving station. By the way, there's an aquarium in the Outer Banks where Captain Etheridge is buried at with full military honors. The North Carolina Aquarium down in the Outer Banks, not too far from Jeanette's Pier. And that's where he's buried at. I might do a video of that museum one day. There's the men right there, and Captain Etheridge and his men. They went through a lot of stuff, obviously, because back then, well, chocolate folks weren't treated too well. And at one time, while the men were away, some folks who didn't like the fact that they did a good job of saving people's lives actually burnt down their life-saving station. But despite all that discrimination and so forth, the men of Pea Island, under the leadership of Captain Etheridge, who was also a Civil War veteran, persevered and saved many lives. There's the gift shop. Lots of stickers, cups, t-shirts, hats, nautical charts and maps. Also, if you like lighthouses, lots of stuff in there about the lighthouses in the area, such as Cape Hatteras, Bodie Island, and so forth. Here's the outside deck area. You can kind of come and chill looking out towards the Atlantic Ocean and the beach at Cape Hatteras. So come check out this place. It's an awesome place. Usually takes about, I'd say about 45 minutes to maybe an hour and a quarter to really go through and experience it all. Lectures happen on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. So they got some monuments there as well to the USS Minnesota. You can read about that. They also have a monument to basically a African American freedmen's area that was there at Cape Hatteras, right there, talking about the history of the former slaves or contraband of war getting their freedom and having a safe haven in the Cape Hatteras area. And of course, there is also a monument, of course, to the USS Monitor that went down off Cape Hatteras. While down in the Outer Banks, check out the Oregon Inlet Life Saving Station, which is a place you can check out right by Oregon Inlet. Also, a couple other places of interest that you might want to check out while you're down there are going to include the Bodie Island Lighthouse, which is coming up here in just a couple of seconds on the video. By the way, there is parking at the Oregon Inlet Life Saving Station about a quarter mile away from the station itself. There's the Bodie Island Lighthouse. And by the way, if you want to stay out there all night, you pretty much can. You can look at the U.S. Park Service information on that, and it tells you about that for Bodie Island and also for the Cape Hatteras lighthouses as well. Cape Hatteras, of course, is currently, the lighthouse itself is currently closed. The main Keeper's Quarters Museum is open, and the lands, most of the land around it are open, but right around there, as you can see, they got scaffolding up there to restore the lighthouse. And of course, one of the most chill places to be is, of course, Jeanette's Pier down in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Just a few additional places down in the Outer Banks for you to check out when you're down there. Go into the graveyard of the Atlantic, give you some additional ideas of things to do you might find interesting in the Outer Banks. Thank you for watching Jessica on YouTube. Remember, I'm Atlantic Ocean Watch on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, where I do my main channel stuff, which is affordable watch reviews. Thank you for watching. Be well.